in the mirror. Man, you're so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately, it's you.
Welcome to the Jeremy Hill Show. If you're easily triggered, leave now because this is not the show for you. Now, the topic of discussion today is going to be simply this: virginity. Virginity. The reason why I'm talking about this right now, because for some reason, in this day and age, that is something that is shameful to have. To say that you have your virginity and that you are a virgin, you'll become an object of ridicule. People will leave you alone. People will try to take it from you. People will shame you for it. Of all these things you could be shamed for, or all the things, it's saying if you talk about a big person, then you're fat shaming. If you talk about a woman who have multiple baby daddies, then you're doing some type of shaming, and that's unacceptable. But if a person says they want to keep their chastity and their virtue and everything good like that, then that's horrible, and that doesn't make any sense. So what I'm going to do is encourage virginity among young girls. I know it's hard out here, but it is still the right thing to do. You hear me? So I'm gonna show you a young lady who lost her virginity at age 15 before she even went to the 10th grade. And also for you who are watching, for some reason they call virginity also the V chord. I don't know why, but that's what it is. So when you hear that, that means virginity. Let me go ahead and pull it up. Let's break it down. Oh yeah, there'll be facts, data, and statistics in this show as well. So be prepared.
Storytime of how I lost my virginity at 15. This was 2018. It was the summer going into 10th grade. This boy was like a year older than me. So I was going to 10th grade. He was going into 11th grade. He was tall.
15 years old. 15 years old. Now, there's been young girls who have lost their V chord at an earlier age than that. You know what I mean? There's some cases where they have lost at 12 years old, 13 years old, and they weren't victims of forced intercourse either. They were just fast girls at a very young age. Now, the problem with this is this, and I'm going to show it to you with some stats in a minute. The sooner you start having intercourse, young lady, the harder it's going to be for you to pair bond with the right man that should be your husband. The sooner you begin having intercourse at an early age, non-marital sex, premarital sex, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be extremely difficult for you to stay put in a relationship. I'm going to show that a little bit. Let's keep going.
All dreads, light skin, fine. But he did have acne, so a lot of girls thought he was ugly because he had a lot of acne. But I didn't think he was ugly. In my eyes, he was fine as hell to me. Okay, so we was talking for about a good 3-4 months. I think I'm ready to give it up to him. Girl, I was being so fast and grown. I should have sat my ass down somewhere, honestly. So I go over to his house. I'm like, damn, I'm about to go over to a girl house. Whole time I was going over to a boy house, being fast. He dropped me off at his house. When I was at home getting prepared to go to his house, I had packed like some wipes, a pad, because I knew what was gonna do. We get there to his house and we talking, and then we get to the business. So in the middle of the business, I was bleeding. That means my cherry popped. But he was like, ugh, you on your period? I'm like, didn't I tell you that I'm a virgin? He was like, nah, you didn't tell me you was a virgin. Okay, maybe it went over your head. Maybe you thought I was lying, but yeah, this is real. This is proof right here. Why would I do something with you on my period? That's disgusting.
Think about this type of conversation of a 15-year-old child and a 16-year-old child. Her first time losing something that is precious as her virginity. It should be lost with her husband. There's going to be some idiot out there say like, well, there should always be somebody in a relationship that knows what they're doing. And I'm going to cover that too. But I want you to think about it like this, you so-called Christian hypocrite. Adam and Eve did not have any practice when it came to having intercourse with each other. They figured it out. You will also figure it out if both of you are virgins. Okay? For the fools out there who says silly little things like someone needs to know what they're doing in that situation, that's a preference that you have. Because FYI, every new woman and every new man that you sleep with, you still have to learn what they like. And you still, in most cases, have to instruct them on what it is that you like. No matter how much experience you have had with other people, everybody is different. So I want to debunk that right now because I've heard that silliness before, that you need to have at least one person that knows what they're doing when they're in the bedroom. That's not true. Okay. Even if you look at the animal kingdom, none of those animals need to have multiple sexual partners to come together and procreate. You don't see dogs doing it. You don't see horses do it. They'll say, I got to go practice on these other animals before I come back and know what I'm doing. No, you don't. It's nature, it's biology, it's instinctive. And once you start to sleep with somebody and both of you are virgins, you will figure out what it is that both of you like. Okay? Because I know this is what's been said. But anyway, this is a young girl, cherry busted, bleeding everywhere from her first time. And it's amazing to just think of how young she looks even right then. But she's grown. She's in her early 20s. Can you imagine how much younger she looked when she lost her virginity?
And gross. So once we get done, I go to the bathroom, clean myself up. I got the pad and the wipe, so I'm going in there clean myself up. And once I get done doing that, I go out there to check on him. Like, is you good? Because he was really upset about that blood. I'm like, boy, it is not that serious. And like, he was so childish about it. Like, go take a shower and you be good. You be straight. If it's that serious, like you doing the most, you gonna use some of my wipes that I brought so you can wipe yourself off. When we was in position, I was like on the edge of the bed, feet on the floor, and I was laid over like that. My legs wasn't up or nothing. So it was like an uncomfortable position to be in when you doing something like that. So I didn't like that. For it to be my first time, I did not like it at all. I didn't like what he was doing, the strokes. I didn't like none of it. So once I got him calmed down and straight, I had come around. I said, yeah, I'm ready to go. I left and I really didn't talk to him no more. I stopped talking to him because it wasn't giving. It was giving too childish and I regretted it so bad. Make sure that you find the one. Do not be trying to rush to lose your virginity. Don't be trying to rush to have sex. You need to find the perfect one. Someone that deserves it and loves you and care about you, because I wasted my virginity. Like, I regret losing my virginity to that person. But yeah, when I went home, I told my homegirl, right? Tell me why she gonna go and fuck the nigga that I lost my virginity to.
Let me tell you something, man. Think about this. Her first person that took her V card, so to speak, her virginity, slept with him one time, as she claimed. After she lost something as precious as her virginity to him, she never talked to him anymore. Think about that. No more conversations. She was turned off by the way that he acted. You get what I'm saying? One of the most important, biggest things ever gonna happen to you. She threw away like it was trash, and then she said to you, young ladies out there, as a warning, that when you do give it up to your husband or someone that's worth it. And then turn around and say her homegirl slept with the same dude. Now I'm gonna put some stats on here. I'm gonna show you a woman in a minute, y'all, that's gonna be crying because she regrets losing her virginity. And I'm gonna show you a woman who has 61 bodies ever since she lost hers when she was a teenager. And put these stats on here first for y'all. Make sure y'all can see it. Let me read it to you. Okay, and put this chart on here. Now, according to this chart, it says women who have more non-marital sexual partners are less likely to have stable marriages. So when you're starting at a very young age, lady, the chances of you being happy in marriage is slim. Let me show it to you. Look to the side of the screen where it says 0. Okay. Now it shows that 80.47% chance of success for marriage if the woman is a virgin. That's what the 0 means. That means you have no bodies. There's no body count at all. So if you're a woman and you get married and you marry a man, there is almost close to a 100% chance likelihood that you will stay married. You know why? Because your brain produces oxytocin. Oxytocin, I hope I'm saying it right. It's a chemical. It's called the love hormone. Whenever you bust that nut and have an orgasm, it causes you to bond with the person that you are sleeping with. Now, if you keep doing that with many different men, then that pair bonding ability that you have that God put in you it's not going to really mean anything. It's just going to be something that becomes very common. So it's going to be easy for you to sleep with multiple men, and don't really have what it takes to make it work, to have what it takes to be loyal and faithful. And you just can't bond properly because you giving your body out to everybody. Now let's skip to number 3 on that chart because some of you on here. All right. If you got 3 bodies on you, according to that green line on top of number 3, you have a 39.35 chance of your marriage being stable. That's a significant drop from 80.47 to 39.35% chance of a stable marriage. Now, let's go to number 6 through 10. If a woman has 6 to 10 bodies on her, the chances of her marriage being stable and lasting drops down to 28.70%. Okay? Now, we know most women have that and more, especially women who do those threesomes. If you have 3 threesomes, you don't have 9 bodies, if I'm correct. Okay? Now, let's go to if you done had 16 to 20. Go to that line. 16 to 20. If you have slept as a woman with anywhere from 16 to 20 men, the likelihood of you being married and happy and having a long-lasting marriage drops to 17.80%. Ain't that something? And also, if you got 21 plus, I think that may be wrong, but I guess whatever the situation is, but what I'm looking at is close to 17.8. But if you got 21 plus bodies on you as a woman, then the likelihood of you having a long-lasting marriage is 20.41%. Now, that's a big difference from having absolutely 0 bodies and your marriage lasting by 80.47%. When you become a hoe, the chances of you becoming one of those women who said, "Where the good man at?" That's what's going to happen to you when you become a hoe. Now, let's read this. It said, for all 3 cohorts, women who married as virgins had the lowest divorce rates by far. 11% of virgin marriages on the part of the woman at least in the 1980s dissolved within 5 years. This number fell to 8% in the 1990s, then fell again to 6% in the 2000s. So I can back up everything I say here. Now look at this. According to thesecret.com, are virgins less likely to divorce? Women who are virgins when they marry are less likely to divorce within 5 years than those who have multiple partners before marriage. Next, least likely to divorce are those who have had one premarital partner. The only reason why that is the possibility, because if you only slept with one person, you haven't had an opportunity to pair bond with all these different men to become imprinted by these other men. Okay? The more men you sleep with, the harder it is for you to keep a relationship. Not even marriage. It's just like you just having a basic relationship with men. It's going to become harder and harder and harder for you to be happy, to find the happiness that you want, because you have messed up your mind through sex. It's basically what it's saying. Now, according to psychology today, sorry. According to the CDC data, women between 25 and 44 had a median of 4.2 sexual partners, while men in that age group had a median of 6.1 sexual partners. A study published in the Archives of Sexual Behavior found millennials have an average of 8 sexual partners. Dang. A survey of people from the US, UK, and Europe found women had a lifetime average of 7 sexual partners. Men had an average of 8 sexual partners. And we all know that that number could be bigger than that, right? Acceptance of premarital relationships has grown over the decades, and the number of women who were virgins when they were married has dropped each decade since the 1970s from 21% then to 5% in 2010. Now, you know what? I had a clip before a long time ago where it says like less than 4% of women who marry are virgins. So the majority of the time you meeting women who have just had their legs in there for many years, man. All right, let's get back to the show. I just want to put them facts up there, the data and statistics up there. I gave you percentages. I gave you some data and some facts. Now let's get back to what we're talking about. Excuse me right quick. Let me show you this woman who's bragging about 60 bodies. 1 second, ladies. I got to find the right screen for you. There it is. Now I can put it up there. There's something to think about, man. Let's get it.
I was 13 when I lost my virginity. Fast forward 8 years, bitches.
Do you see that? That's her. She took a picture of it. She made it. She got 61 bodies, according to her caption underneath her face. I'm going to back it up again. She's going to show when she was 15, how she got even more faster and more whorish than she is what she is today. In this caption, it says, I was 15 when I lost my virginity. Let's keep going.
I was 13 when I lost my virginity. Fast forward 8 years.
There she is right there. See, that's another thing. Once you develop these appetites after you done slept with someone, lady, the chances of you becoming more whorish is phenomenal.
Bitches still feeling me.
Why is this a trend?
Shouldn't be.
Why? Why is this a trend? Why is this a trend?
Yeah, I want to know too. You ain't the only one. I'm gonna put a clip of a woman who's regretting. She crying in tears about her losing her virginity when she did. A lot of us feel like that, young lady and older lady. A lot of you wish you never slept with that one person who took it from. A lot of even men be like that. There's a lot of y'all out there who regret getting pregnant because some of you got pregnant the first time you had your virginity taken. Some of y'all regret that. You wish you would have waited. So why don't you tell you? I'm talking to women right now. Why don't you tell your daughters to wait because you know you wish you would have waited. Because if you don't, she got a higher chance of getting STDs. There's a higher chance of her getting pregnant at an early age, teenage pregnancy. A whole lot of stuff. Let's teach her right. Let's teach her right, man.
Am I the only one who found losing their virginity to be a very traumatic experience? I wish I could go back and hug that girl and tell her that she doesn't have to feel ashamed for not wanting to do it again. Even though culture tells her that it's empowering. Well, for me.
Exactly. Culture. Give me an example of culture. The music. All the female rappers talk about being a hoe. Even Sexy Red said, with that song she did with Suki Hana, the lyric was, lost my virginity and turned to a hoe. On that Hood Rat song, she's like, Hood Rat, we like the Hood Rat, Hellcat. That song they did together, she actually has a lyric in there that said, lost my virginity and turned into a hoe. The culture is molding your children into being hoes. Keep going.
Even though culture tells her that it's empowering. Well, for me, I can't speak for you, but to me, it didn't feel empowering. Anyways, I just wanted to see if I was the only one.
No, you're not. A lot of people think and feel the same way you did. They wish they would have waited too. Well, anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. You know how I get down. I'll be seeing y'all real soon. Take it easy now, you hear?